Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nocturnal Gaming Network. My name is Xeriua, and today we are playing Space Agency Mission number 21, The Red Planet Landing. So let us begin. This is exciting. We need to go check with our briefing and see what's going on here. Alright, our objectives. Wow, we have a ton of objectives. We must assemble an N1 LOK LK rocket. Launch the rocket, making sure the third stage reaches orbit. Dock the LK with the LOK. Fly to Loon, fly to Red. Separate the LK. Land the LK in the landing zone on Red. Wow, zone, getting myself an accent, because. Take a photograph. Separate the LK core stage. Dock with the orbiting LOK. Now we get some tongue twisters going on. We must enter orbit around home. Re-enter the atmosphere and splash down. And our budget is $80,875,000 with a total max time of 25 minutes 0 seconds. Our scientists have calculated that it is possible, using N1 hardware, to launch a manned mission to land on the Red Planet. Assemble the N1 LOK LK vehicle as follows. The N1A, N1B, and N1V blocks. Then the LK lander legs, LK lander core, N1 payload fairing, LOK service module, LOK crew capsule, LOK docking module, LOK fairing, and the N1 escape tower. Launch the N1 Block V into orbit around home. Once in orbit, separate the LOK and dock it with the LK lander. The most fuel-efficient route to Red is via Loon. Land the LK lander in the target zone on Red and take at least one photograph. Separate the LK core module and dock again with the LOK. Travel back to home via Loon and re-enter the LOK crew capsule. So to do this, we have the total budget available to us. Something tells me that we're going to use every last cent of it because we have to assemble a specific rocket, even though I think I could do this for cheaper. And we'll actually check that. I think we can. But the cost is $80,875,000, and the maximum time allowed for the gold award is 17 minutes 10 seconds. And again, we have no checkpoints available. So let's go take a look at our vehicles here. Alright, now we need to launch this LK lander right there, and we need to launch this LOK module that is comprised of these three pieces here. So, doing this, I wonder if it would be possible for me to do this with the heavy tug module and the Long March rocket. Let's see if it is. No, it's not going to be possible to do that because but if we use the Long March base, we could launch the LK module on top, the N1 module on top of the small base, which we could fit that in, and then the fairing, 49%, and then 55%. 49 plus 55, so that would get us basically there, basically to space where we need to go. But what happens when we put this on top? This exercise isn't really required because, we have to assemble a specific rocket, but okay, no, so it looks like I couldn't Yeah, because I'm not even going to get off the landing pad like this. But oh well, let's assemble the rocket they tell us to assemble. Starting with a large stage, we have the N1 block A, the N1 block B, and then we go to our medium stage and we have the N1 block V right here. Then we go with our payload and put the LK lander stuff, and then we need our payload fairing, the correct payload fairing. There it is. Not payloads, we need small stages, and we will put the LOK service module, LOK crew capsule, and LOK docking module, followed by the LOK fairing and the N1 escape tower. And here is our wonderful rocket. It's a pretty good-sized rocket this time. So we have a budget of 0, so that means that we now have one objective complete. We have assembled the N1 LOK LK rocket. And I think we should be ready to launch. So let us begin. Yes, and we will skip ahead, and at about 4 seconds on this one, we will launch the thing. Boom. Listen to that rumble. Alright. Let's get going. Now, for this one, let's pulse our engines a couple times here. We want to try and get as much fuel to spare for the third stage of this rocket as possible. Begin our roll right about now. There we go. Perfect. Start to roll completely, and we'll pulse just a little bit with this one also, just to conserve a little bit of fuel here. Yeah, just like this. We're still moving at a good clip. Perfect. Alright, so we want to leave this at just a little bit higher angle than the 45 degrees. So like right about here. Boom, and then we can use the N1V stage. And we'll keep going, and we're almost to space. We'll see stars in just a second. Yes, here they are. So we're going to have about half of our fuel left, which is more than enough fuel to launch ourselves towards the loon, towards the moon. Alright. So get ready, and when the red exit line is just perfect, we will launch ourselves towards the moon. Boom, just like this. And we are going to do the same exact maneuver as the moon landing, and we will split the fairing, split the other fairing, and then we will speed up by 1, and then right about now we'll start the rotation. It's perfect. And then once we get about halfway there, we want to just get ourselves moving a little bit. A little bit too fast there. It's okay. That's okay. We can come over just like this. And boom! Okay, now we're set. Now we will line ourselves back up on the moon. Perfect. All ready to go. Now, we need to slow ourselves down once we ensure... Okay, so we're going to hit the moon. That's fine. We can slow ourselves down to just below the escape velocity here. Make sure you do this with plenty of time left over just in case you don't quite make it. Whatever, we're ready. Oh, come on, switch back to the lock. There we go. Then we'll hit the down arrow. Oh no, what happened? Why did that not work? Hit the down arrow again. There we go. Okay. So apparently I didn't hit the down arrow with enough authority the first time. And so we will line ourselves back up on the red planet just like this. And we are on our way. So I'm gonna use, there we go, get ourselves going at a faster than, well, final stage, let's just say the final stage of speed here. I wonder what happens if we were to launch something and get it all the way up to the fastest speed. Would it just blow up? Or would it just, kind of stop getting faster? We'll have to try that sometime. One of these missions. We'll just, get an extraordinarily large rocket and we'll just shoot it out in a random direction, and then we'll try to get up to the maximum speed possible. Just because. In the name of science! So we have a couple more units to go here. Just about, 550, something like that. But we are on the perfect path. Looks like at the end of it, we're going to be slightly to the outside of the orbit. But that's okay. I think the orbiting ring around the red planet is going to be large enough to accommodate that. I think we're going to be close enough to it. If not, we've still got plenty of time here to adjust ourselves. In fact, do I want to do that now? No. We will wait. We'll be patient. We'll see. We'll try to conserve some fuel here. Want to make sure that we do in fact have the correct module selected, because if we don't, when we try to slow down, we're going to speed up, and then we're definitely going to have some problems. And we don't want problems. We want this to be a nice, perfect red landing, because we're landing on the red planet, not the moon. Alright, we are almost there. We're about 150 units away. And we will, in fact, be entering the orbit of the red planet. So, let's just start slowing ourselves down. Okay, so now we're below the escape velocity. Let's... Uh-oh, what did I do? Come on, get back there. Okay, close enough. So now we will slow ourselves down. Okay, and we can separate the lunar lander, not the lunar lander, but the Mars lander here, the red planet lander. And we will rotate ourselves around here. And we want to... Do we want to slow ourselves down or speed ourselves up? Let's slow ourselves down here, and we can get closer to the planet. There we go. So now we're at about the correct angle. This might be fine. Let's just get ourselves at the correct speed, and we'll kind of pulse ourselves up and down here to try and let the planet rotate underneath us. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. So we're just fine once we get ourselves down there. Alright, let ourselves fall. We can zoom in a little bit. Alright, so we're going to land just inside the border here. Just like this. And we can rotate ourselves back. And we have landed! So let's back up and check. We have 8 objectives completed. We must now separate the LK stage. Okay, so landed on red. So let's separate. And remember, let it do its thing. It will get itself back into orbit properly. Okay, so we are back. And we are almost at the correct speed too. There we go. So now our speed should be fine. Rotate ourselves correctly, and we can begin the task of boosting back out to the correct altitude. Is altitude the correct word? I don't know if altitude's the correct word. We need to slow down a little bit, or we're never going to make this. Altitude's the word I'm going to use. Alright, so we're using up all of our fuel here. We'll make it. Maybe. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what are we doing here? Okay, there we are. So now we can get back like that. We're almost perfectly in the correct rotational altitude here. And then we can speed up a little bit. There we are. So now we should catch right up to this thing. Yes. Almost there. We've still got plenty of fuel. Perfect. We'll slow down one tick. Bam! Just like that. And then we'll rotate it around. While we're doing that, we will go to this module and we will refill its fuel.
Propellant low.
Alright. So we've got plenty of time here. Boom. Ready to go. So, we want to launch this when the red escape arrow is, well, I say arrow, line is just ahead of the moon. So like right here. And if I have calculated this right, well, when I say calculated, I mean eyeballed, because there's really no calculation involved in this. There we are. We shall find ourselves flying right by the moon and straight back to home. I think we're pretty close, but we'll see in just a second. Now, I want to rotate this around again, like that, and then what? Let's change ever so slightly our angle, and we'll launch that. 3, and then we will rotate ourselves back. And now, this LK module is going to go somewhere. Doesn't matter. Yes, and we have correctly completed the objectives. So, the lock service module. So now the LK module will go off into space in some random direction that's not where we're going. And that way it will not come and slam right into us when we're trying to slow down. That would be bad. That would kind of, ruin this potentially perfect mission that we have flown here. Okay, so Loon and Station. Now we just need home. Where is the home? Station, gold, blue, purple, yellow, red, green, Loon, home. 900 meters, okay. Oh wow, look at that. See how close I was to hitting directly on home? That is awesome. To tell you the truth, it's kind of lucky, but we'll just pretend that I'm good, or something. So now I am turned, and I'm kind of pulsing my engines a little bit to try and get myself perfectly on home. Little tiny bit more. Yes, so now I'm just barely to the inside of home. And we'll reset ourselves to travel speed. And this module, where is this module going? Off in space, but we can destruct it. Let's destruct it. Boom. Explosion. Alright, so now we just need to land this module in the ocean. Re-enter the atmosphere. Oh, there's the moon. Hello, moon. Yes. We are almost home. 500 units away. And we have the perfect amount of fuel here. We have, what do we have? We have plenty of oxygen, plenty of power. Everything's wonderful here. 400 units. We're coming in. Pretty soon we'll be able to take a peek and actually see the orbit of home. We're going to be just to the inside, so pretty much the only thing we need to do now is make sure that we don't hit either the satellite or the telescope that are flying around home. Because that would be just like me to align this perfectly, so I fly halfway around the solar system and magically hit this little teeny tiny satellite that's in the way. And I think we're actually going to be good, because I don't think either of those are going to get back around before we enter the orbit of Earth. Yeah, those are looking good. So I'm going to start slowing myself down right about now. Perfect. Okay. And where are we in relation to the satellite? We are... Okay, so we need to move inside the orbit of the satellite. Just like that. And then we can slow ourselves way down. Boom. And start rotating. Once we get perpendicular to the planet, I can get rid of this lock module. Alright, so there we are. Get rid of the docking module.
Stage set.
And we can get ready to land this thing. Alright, we got this. Coming back into the atmosphere now. Heat shield is working properly. Perfect. Just go back and forth here. Disperse the heat evenly. Ooh, come on, keep turning. There we go. Very turbulent atmosphere today. Come on, turn back. Thanks. Thank you. Alright, we are almost there. We're a little over halfway done. Just need to keep this thing straight for a couple more seconds here, like 10 or 15 more seconds. Boom. Got plenty of fuel left over. Here we are. We're just about there. Parachute is available. Let's straighten ourselves out. Right about here. And get ready. Because once we hit the bottom arrow... Perfect. Parachute has been deployed. This is a very safe and successful landing. Now we just need to wait for somebody to hopefully come pick us up. Because, you know, we don't want to stay out in the ocean forever. That would not be fun, to go all the way around the solar system and then just, you know, sit in the ocean and float around and not get picked up by our people. Here we are with a gold award in 16 minutes and 25 seconds at a cost of $80,875,000. Yes, we are done. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Xeriua, and this is the Nocturnal Gaming Network. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.